Wait until Dad comes home. The other day I received a heart-wrenching video that I'm going to share with you in about a minute, but it gave me a reason to do this podcast. Typically when we heard these words, wait until Dad comes home, was not a good sign. You know, it represented a frustrated mother that just couldn't deal with our terrible behavior any longer and kind of referred the discipline and correction to the father. I'm sure that many can identify with this. Actually, if you do, please leave a comment in the section below. I grew up with my share of spanking and some, and probably it's because my parents came out of World War II, so it was a different mindset during those days, you know, early 60s. And my sister, who are 5 and 11 years older than me, they were telling me that every night seems like between 6 and 8 p.m., in line with fathers coming home, they will hear screaming and yelling and crying from the windows of other apartments. That's the way they used to discipline in those days. Good fathers discipline their children. And I think this is where some of the fathers actually go wrong. They have inherited certain examples from their own father that are not that healthy. They continue to perpetrate, to duplicate the same methodology with their own children. Fortunately, I heard a lot of stories of children that have been punished, not disciplined, but punished. Maybe from a frustrated father that kind of took out his anger upon them. And that has caused in many of them this alienation, this separation, and in some cases hatred toward their father. Very, very sad. And I think that some of these fathers, unfortunately, are not even seeing the need of repentance and asking for forgiveness. But let me show you the video. You will see actually a soldier that is coming back unexpectedly, surprising his little child.
Keep your gloves up, Shib. Keep your hands up. Come on, Shib. Come on. Is that what I got?
Daddy?
You were such a big boy when I was going. I'm so proud of you. Wow.
What got me in the video was actually the voice of the little kid. When he hears his father actually calling his name, all of a sudden his voice, you know, with trepidation and almost unbelief said, "Daddy," because he couldn't believe what could happen. And once he removed the bandages and he sees him, he just plunges himself into his powerful, protective, loving arms. Beautiful. And maybe this gets me because it reminds me of when I was 3 years old, and it's the first time that I actually encountered God in a powerful way. Nobody taught me how to pray because I was so young. And I was in bed, in my parents' bed. They were not home yet. It was getting late. My 2 sisters were in the kitchen. And I woke up. I didn't know how late it was, but I woke up. They weren't there. And I had this sense of anxiety that overcame me. And all of a sudden, I look up to the sky. I was crying. I was saying, I know that there is something powerful out there. Please bring my parents home safely. And all of a sudden, I just felt these beautiful arms that just embraced me. And this sense of peace and joy that just overwhelmed me. I mean, I feel like yesterday. And I knew that everything was going to be all right. And one day, some of us will explode of joy just to be able to be in the presence of the Father. Right now in this life, we may feel sometimes that we're close, some other times we're far, but that one day, Revelation 22 says that we will see Him face to face. And this is possible because in Philippians 3:21, it says that we will have a new glorified body as the one of Christ. But for others, it will be a different story, a sad story. For those who have ignored Him, disregarded him or rejected him, they will receive what they wanted, complete separation from the Father and judgment to boot. It's something that I do not wish to anyone, and that is why I'm doing these videotapes, to encourage some to get closer to God and actually challenge others that do not know Him yet to please embark in their journey before it is too late, so that one day they will be able to run just like the little kid in the video in the loving arm of a loving Father. Thank you again for following me. Please share this with people that do not know Him yet. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next week.